Why should we even care about year-end giving? Did you know that roughly 31% of donations annually come in during the month of December, and 12% of those come in on the last 3 days of the year? So if you're a marketer, don't shut off your campaigns just yet. Let them run all the way to January 1st, maybe even extend them. There's a lot of last-minute donations that are going to come your way. Welcome to Mission Money Fundraising Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Clements. Today, we're diving into one of the most impactful things for fundraising, year-end giving. This season isn't just about increasing donations. It's also about strengthening our connections with donors, sharing the impact of your work, and inviting supporters to join you in meaningful ways. Year-end campaigns often bring a significant contribution, and I'm here to help you get the most and make the most out of this opportunity. Today I was at church and they shared something that was super impactful to me, and I think it would be a good reminder to you as well, especially in this time of year where money is at the forefront of our mind, especially as fundraisers, but not only that, even as consumers. In a world where Christmas has been commercialized so much, we are often reminded of not having enough to do this, not having enough to do that. I'm here to remind you, money isn't the end-all, be-all. That's not what's going to make everything in our life magically happen. It's not the answer. And I know this podcast is called Mission Money Fundraising. A part of the heart of that is because I think a lot of times we are too nervous to talk about money. It could be a little taboo or a touchy subject a lot of times, and I want to be bold about talking about it, but I think it's also right to right-size it. So as we talk about the biggest donations yet and how we can maximize our fundraising, let's remember, especially during this time of year, that, it's about so much more than that. It's about celebrating the wins, being grateful for what we've already done, being excited for what's to come, thanking the people that have been involved, and just realizing that sometimes the greatest form of currency doesn't come through money, but through people's time. And currency is sometimes the people connections we can make that make things happen. And I think that is what it's all about. I mean, bringing people together, giving them an opportunity to make an impact and to join alongside something that is helping the greater good. A lot of you guys are doing amazing missions out there. So remember that this is a great time and opportunity to invite people into that. And don't get caught up on the big numbers. Let's remember what this season is about truly, and also just take a deep breath because it's all going to work out. Okay? That being said, we're going to dive into top strategies and tips in the year-end fundraising campaigns, things that I've run before, things that I've had success with, things that top nonprofit agencies are recommending and have seen success with. And I'm so excited to also give examples of some things you can run. So just to kind of get your brain flowing, I think it might be helpful to listen through different things that top organizations are doing this year for year end and how you can utilize some of those for your year-end campaign strategies. So with that being said, let's jump in. First, why should we even care about year-end giving? Did you know that roughly 31% of donations annually come in during the month of December, and 12% of those come in on the last 3 days of the year? So if you're a marketer, don't shut off your campaigns just yet. Let them run all the way to January 1st, maybe even extend them. There's a lot of last-minute donations that are going to come your way. For many organizations, this period is so essential and is a large portion of online revenue. Anywhere from 17 to 34% can come in just December alone. The end of the year is a natural time for people to give as well. People are motivated by tax benefits, holiday generosity, and desire to make an impact before the year ends, as well as maybe even join you for the year to come. This season, let's tell your story, what your organization has achieved, and how supporters can contribute to that impact. It's also just a great time to invite them in to help you finish strong. One important thing that I have learned over the years too, when it comes to building out the online digital year-end campaign, is that it takes 7 touch points to be able to get a donor to decide to give. Now, this is also a rule of thumb for product marketing and beyond. If you think about it, you probably sat around the table and have talked with your friends and family about, hey, weren't we just talking about that pair of shoes and now it's just showing up on my ads left and right? Like, that's real. And it also is sometimes effective. I mean, I have to admit, I gave in to a sweatshirt ad that, I mean, it just looked so comfortable. And they got in front of me via influencers that I was following, podcasters I was following, ads, an email, a text once I decided I wanted to see if I could get a discount. You know, they were like, hey, we'll give you this discount. I signed up for an email. Now they're emailing me. Well, okay, I was weak. I try not to give into this, especially because I'm a marketer and I understand what they're trying to do to me. You'd think I'd break the mold and be like, no, you're not going to manipulate me into buying this. But they got me. And I definitely have that sweatshirt right there, right now. So with that being said, donors are no different. We have to get in front of them. We need to build trust. And when we get those 7 different touch points of them seeing our message, they'll feel motivated enough to contribute. This is known as the rule of 7 and is powerful for digital campaigns. When supporters see consistent, engaging appeals across email, social media, and retargeting ads, they start to feel connected to the campaign and are much more likely to take action. Each interaction is an opportunity to build trust, show the impact, and to move them closer to giving. One of my favorite examples of a nonprofit that really excels in year-end giving is Charity Water. If you don't follow them, I learned so much from them and everything they do throughout the year. They are a great model to follow. They've just really mastered the art of transparency, compelling storytelling, and storytelling that not only shows what they're doing and their mission, where their donor dollars are going to, but it resonates deeply with their supporters. So go follow them. They're a great example. I've loved watching them over the years. They make a really clear process. They're really clear with what they want you to do as a donor or as someone that's trying to learn more. They make it easy for the person that's going onto their website. And I really love how they tell the story of what they're doing and what their donor dollars are going to. Okay, so we're going to get into different examples of campaigns you can run this year. But before we do, some of the most effective year-end campaigns also are clear and easy journeys for their donors. And I think this is really key before we touch on anything about how you can push people to your website. Let's make sure your website is easy to follow. So first rule of thumb, I always say, is make it so clear a caveman could understand. We want that website or landing page to just be very simple, that you could read it and understand it in 5 seconds. I want you to look at your landing page, your donor page, as if you knew nothing about your organization. Are you able to understand it in 5 seconds? If not, go back to the drawing board. This is so key and vital to making sure someone goes through, follows through, and ends up donating. So with that being said, the next thing is have a clear button. Make sure that button is bold, a bold color, one of your boldest brand colors that you have. Make sure that color stands out and that button stands out that says donate now. You know, in that too, don't give too many options. I mean, have what you want them to do be the first thing that shows up. So if you want them to become a monthly giver, make sure that you have that monthly option already pre-selected for them, and make that clear that that's an opportunity. We used to have a toggle where you could go from monthly to just a one-time gift, but if you're just looking for one-time gifts, maybe that's the CTA. I love reoccurring options though. Really definitely adds up. And also you can just do projections into how much you'll be making annually, which is really a great thing as well. So if you don't have reoccurring gifts, something to think about adding if you have an ongoing mission. But if it's a one-time fundraising appeal, then have that one-time fundraising appeal in there. Make it really clear what your goal is, make it really clear what the money is going towards, and even how are you going to follow up with them, right? So make it clear, make it simple. They should be able to get to the donate page, like filling out their information, less than 2 clicks, and a straightforward payment system is the next thing. I mean, we're so used to it. It's really not even going to be optional anymore. It's going to be mandatory because so many of us are used to getting, Apple Pay, Google Pay options. And so we need to be able to step up as an organization and give those options on our site too. It's not only going to help us see the donations come to fruition, but it's going to make it easier on our donors. Less friction for them means that it's probably going to have a higher conversion rate, which is key when it comes to the experience they're having as they land on this page. I have a friend, he owns a business it's just solely about the science of shopping carts, right? I mean, there's a whole science behind getting someone as quick as possible through a shopping cart. I really wanted to start this podcast because I think that sometimes us as marketing or nonprofit leaders or maybe solo fundraisers, we don't get some of the same education that maybe a corporate world would on like best practices, right? So I want to make sure I'm bringing those to you guys. And one of them is just making sure we're really optimizing that checkout process. Another thing I'll add in there is make sure you have clear goals and that you can communicate those to your audience as you're getting closer to fulfilling them. Now, let's dive in to some campaign ideas to help your year-end strategies come to life. These are going to be things you can take or leave. I'm just going to run through some of the top campaigns I've seen success with, as well as I've seen a lot of other organizations have success with when it comes to year-end giving or Christmas campaigns. The first one is year-end reflection campaigns. Now, this is where you take the opportunity to take your supporters through a journey of the past year, sharing major milestones, success stories, and challenges you've overcome. Now, my main tip is don't shy away, please, from being vulnerable. Your audience wants to see authenticity. They want to see personality. This is the number one thing I teach when it comes to storytelling. I know that can be scary as a brand, but in a world that's so superficial at times, our audience is craving authenticity. Don't be afraid to, and don't shy away from some of the challenges you've had over the last year and how you've overcome. That's going to help connect with your donor's heart or your audience's heart better than anything. You would be surprised. Show them exactly how their donations or the donor dollars have made a difference by reflecting on the year's impact. You're giving donors a reason to invest in the upcoming year with confidence. Now, by showing that last year's impact, you're giving new donors and your previous donors a reason to invest in the upcoming year with confidence. Another idea number 2, holiday match campaigns. Matching gifts can be an incredibly effective campaign during year end. A lot of times I've seen this really multiply gifts the more we've given a match or an organization has come in and agreed to giving a match. It's really catapulted year-end giving. So if you can find a company or a major donor that could give that matching gift, this really encourages those that are on the fence to give. Okay, the next one, Christmas countdown campaigns. Year-end is just around Christmas, so this is a perfect opportunity to use that, capitalize on it, and do a countdown starting on December 1st. Share stories, quotes, and photos each day leading to Christmas. The daily encouragement builds excitement and it keeps donors connected and engaged with your mission. As you start counting down, you're getting closer to Christmas, start to give direct asks, emphasizing how their year-end gift amplifies the work you can do. So again, great opportunity for those 7 touch points. They're starting to see you at the beginning of the month. And as you get, through the month, they've seen your posts, they've seen your emails. And now you're starting to say, hey, we can't do this without you. Would you help us maximize, amplify our work? And would you give? giving them that direct ask. Another year-end campaign idea is gamifying with the box reveal method. Now, this was taught to me by a friend. I utilized it and is perfect for smaller fundraising goals. But it's also, I think, could be really scalable to a larger campaign. I have not scaled it. I did it for me. But the box reveal method is fun, and you can gamify your fundraising and engage with your audience. Now, here's how it works. You're going to create a graphic with numbered boxes on it from 1 to 100, or whatever your goal might be. You're going to have to calculate that. Each box is going to represent the dollar amount that your donors can give. So the first box is going to be 1. Somebody could give $1. The second box is going to be $2, all the way to 100. As each donation comes in, so somebody would claim the box, I want 1, and they'd give $1. You take that box off of a graphic and it would start to unlock and reveal the image below it. Each of these donations is going to correspond with those boxes, and it's going to unlock, revealing the part of the hidden image beneath it. Last year, I used this approach for raising $2,500. So I think I calculated it, and I was like, okay, if someone gave to each of these boxes 1 to 100, so I had one $1 gift, one $5 gift, one $12 gift, one $100 gift, I would have raised enough to make $2,500. Now, forget what number I went up to, but that was the exact goal. And I said, hey, as you give, I'm going to reveal the boxes, and it's going to help me get closer to the money I'm raising to go on this missions trip. Each time someone donated, I updated the graphic, and I publicly thanked them and shared the image as it slowly revealed the image behind it. So people were getting excited, wanting to see what the image was behind it. It told a story. It kind of gamified things. If every box from $1 to $100 is filled, the total, so from 1 to 100, someone gives each of those. Do you know what the total would be? $5,000. Isn't that incredible? I think it's $5,050. But wow. So if you're looking to raise something a little bit smaller, you have a smaller goal for fundraising, I swear by this, I raised that money in 2 weeks. Can you believe that? 2 weeks, $2,500. That's chump change to some of you larger organizations. But for someone that doesn't normally personally ask for money, I do it a lot for the nonprofit world. It was really quick for an audience that, just wanted to help me to go on this really impactful trip. So it's perfect for building excitement and momentum. And as you get closer to the goal, people want to chip in even more because the image is like almost revealed. So this gamified method is interactive, it is engaging, and it worked well for me. And I think it would work well for both small and large, campaigns, just depending on how much you're trying to raise. The next year-end campaign idea is a finish strong campaign. Create an end-of-year campaign that emphasizes the urgency of reaching your goal before the year ends. Urgency is something that's really important when we think about creating motivation for a donor. Showing your progress, also with a fundraising goal bar, invites donors to really help close the gap. We talked about that a little earlier. I really believe in it. There's a lot of studies behind it. And so it's definitely something to look at adding to one of your year-end campaigns. Seeing how close you are can really make a difference in encouraging the final contributions. So definitely something worth looking at adding and really creating that urgency of, hey, we have to reach this goal by year end, and being really specific about why you're trying to reach it can help donors and invite them to become a part of what you're doing. The next idea to consider is a story-based campaign. So taking those stories that are happening in your organization and making sure you're telling them to your audience. This is so important, not through just year end, but through the whole year. You can really connect with the donor's heart through connecting and introducing them to not only the people you're helping, but people that are working in your organization, the donors, the peoples that our hands are in the field or on the mission. Maybe it's your own story. That is so powerful. There's nothing that can really get to the heart of somebody quicker than telling a story that they can connect with. Now, this is something I will only touch on it quickly today because a lot of this podcast series, we're going to be diving into storytelling, effective storytelling, why it's important. But a storytelling campaign can be paired with a lot of these campaign ideas. It's something we should be doing and thinking about all year. But year end is a really good time to think about how are we telling our organization's story and how can we amplify it as we get closer to year end, helping our audience connect with the people in our organization, the impact that's being had, and telling that, here's the key with a story-based campaign, is across multiple channels. So telling that same story across social and email and ads and your website, this can be really impactful, and if done well, can be really effective. Okay, so number 7, year-end recap and new year vision. This campaign combines a look back at the previous year, but also gives a hopeful vision forward. This is really powerful in storytelling what you guys have done, as well as invites your potential donors or your current donors into seeing the vision and into the transparency. You're revealing, hey, this is what we're going to do, and we want to see, you join alongside of us. I think this builds trust because shows a lot of transparency, saying, hey, we really followed through. We did all of this last year. You've been a part at really paving the way for this vision to come to pass. Now, would you come alongside us this next year and help us, pave the way to even bigger impact? This invites them in, and you can tell them, hey, we want you to join us and to continue this journey by giving now. Number 8. I don't know about you, but I don't like to be put in a box, and neither should your year-end campaign ideas. Let's get out of the box and do something different. How many times have you seen creative campaigns really catching your attention? If you have a team, I know you're creative. You're doing something creative and, adventurous by even working in nonprofit or doing a mission or raising your support. You're probably creative, or if not, you have a team of creatives around you. And during this time of year, it's so important to stand out. We can really do this by getting creative and getting out of that box. It's a busy season, right? So finding a way to stand out is so key. An example of this that I love, now we already brought up Charity Water, but it's another example from Charity Water. It's not a specific year-end campaign, but one of the things I've loved that they've done, they had this huge display where they invited in artists to do art exhibits or art displays on their jerry cans, which are the things that they carry fresh water in. So not only was this so creative, I think it was displayed in New York. It was absolutely stunning. It told the story visually of what they do and about the water crisis, and it connected with the hearts of their donors and new audience because it was through, art. And that's just not something we typically see within the nonprofit world is, partnering with artists. I just loved their boldness to do that. It was new, it was modern, and I guarantee you they brought in a lot of new donors through that campaign just because of the unique way and the boldness, the out-of-the-boxness they used to really tell an amazing story, just using a prop like a jerry can, so simple, to capture what they're doing and what their mission is all about. So I love that. Big props to you, Charity Water. You're killing it. They're a great one to follow. I think they do a lot of things well and a lot of things with excellence, especially when it comes to storytelling. And that's a great example. Getting out of the box. If you're watching, I am a big proponent of this. You have to get out of the box. If you want to be seen at all, getting out of the box is so key. When I applied to a particular nonprofit, I was like, hey, okay, there's a lot. This is a hot job on Indeed. I'm like, I need to stand out. How am I going to do this? I submitted my example. They wanted me to send a reel or a video that I captured, an example of my content creating abilities. I made them this awesome reel and it showed the impact of the organization and told the story. But at the end, I'm like, okay, this is my chance to be out of the box. I have to show them that I'm creative and I'm a out of the box thinker. And I just put myself up there in a picture like this. And I said, hire me. And you know what? I got the job. So encouragement from me, get out of the box. Maybe you're looking for their job and that's how you'll get it, by being out of the box. But if not, you're looking for new year-end donors, I think you're going to win them over the same way. So sit around the round table, use your resources around you. Your friends have been a part of a lot of think tanks where just gather some really creative people, start thinking through how you can get out of the box. If you don't have employees, but if you have employees, utilize them and think through. Don't be scared of those big ideas. It might be the thing that actually breaks the mold and gets you to where you need to go in this next year. Okay, now you have some great ideas to get your mind rolling, get your mind starting about the campaign and the strategy. But I want to give you a few tips that are going to make a big difference. The first one is consistency and your messaging. Now, this can be applied across your entire year, but across all of these campaigns, make sure your messaging, your copy is clear and consistent across all channels, and your brand. I'll add that in there too. I think we can miss that sometimes. Make sure your branding, your colors, your text across all graphics is clear. I think that's also a way we communicate, is through look, through visuals. So make sure that is all consistent across email, social, website updates. It should tell the same story and reinforce urgency of giving. So make sure that communication through all your campaigns is very consistent. Those are going to add up to those 7 touch points that gets your audience connected to that campaign. The next one is impact focus updates. Make sure to share regular updates on your campaign's progress using a fundraising goal bar or great visuals to make sure you're showing how close you're getting. This can help make your supporters feel like they're a part of reaching your goal. The next, number 3, is set clear goals. Make sure you're clear on your goals, and then that's going to help let your donor know what they're trying to help you raise, as well as what you're aiming to raise and how it will be used. Having a specific financial target and project outcome keeps supporters engaged and invested. Then later follow up. Make sure you're letting them know your progress on that, right? The next thing is segmenting your audience. I have a special podcast episode I'm prepping for you guys on segmenting and audience and email. But to dive into it real quickly, you should be segmenting your audiences if you aren't already. To keep it simple, this is just based off of their behaviors, their history, their engagement. We can begin to divide the audiences and speak to them all separately. Each of those emails is a person, right? So just as if that person was standing right in front of you and they were a major donor, and then you have someone to the left that has never given before, you are going to talk to them differently. Maybe one, you're thanking them for their yearly contribution. The next one, you need to tell them what you're doing, what your vision is, what your mission is, what the impact you're making is. While the major donor already knows, they're already bought in, the new donor needs to know, right? So that segmenting of audience is so important. Tailor your messages based off your audience's giving history or engagement level. Long-term donors may appreciate just a heartfelt thank you in email or a letter, while a new potential donor might need to see your impact more clearly, and you could do that through your website and to an email to them. Just make sure you're speaking to them uniquely and in the ways that they are involved with your organization already. The last one, personalized thank yous. After a gift is made, send a personalized thank you. This strengthens your relationship with the donor, and it's just a simple gesture of gratitude that can lead to even more engagement down the line. It will be more appreciated than you might even know. And the more you can personalize it, if you're smaller and you have more time, think into that, because the investment you make now is usually, a reward in the future. And it's just great, right? We're inviting them into being a part of it. We need to make sure we're prioritizing how we're nurturing that audience and those people, loyal givers, along their journey. Okay, this is a little bit of a bonus, but it's included in year-end Giving Tuesday. Because it's right around the corner, I want to talk to this. There's a lot of different thoughts and theories around marketing for Giving Tuesday. I don't know about you, though. I've been a marketer with a team of 2 or 3, and then I've been a marketer in a team of 80 people. Either way, Giving Tuesday can feel overwhelming when it's just on the heels of year-end and Christmas campaigns. Either it gets overlooked or it becomes so big and we have to do it. And then year-end kind of, we don't have the resources for that. So if you have the resources to give even attention to all of them, that's amazing. It's definitely worth the time. But if you're, looking for maybe a new way to think about Giving Tuesday, this is how I view it. I view it as a fantastic way to kick off the giving season. If you're deciding where you want to focus a majority of your resources, consider a broader year-end campaign. Unlike a single day event, a full campaign gives you time to build momentum and share stories over several weeks. Just like year-end and Christmas, we want to think of that as a several week-long campaign. So don't hear me wrong, Giving Tuesday is a great opportunity to ask for gifts, but just make sure you're prioritizing. I know a lot of the teams out there are small, so where do you want to put your efforts this year? I think a month-long appeal is going to be a lot more effective for you guys than a single day. Now, it doesn't mean you can't tell your story and put something out there for Giving Tuesday to connect with your audience and to show them you're there. Think of it maybe more as a touch point in this upcoming season and really prioritize what matters most. Again, if you can do everything, that is perfect. Do it. Go out there. But I'm all for quality over quantity when it comes to fundraising. I think we have to do this well and be smart about how we're using our resources. So as we wrap up, remember, year-end campaigns are a powerful way to connect with your supporters and invite them to play a lasting role in your mission. By extending your campaign over several weeks, you can share your story, build trust, and show the direct impact of every gift. Make sure to keep the giving journey easy and engaging with tools like the fundraising goal bar to show real-time progress, and stay consistent with your messaging to keep your supporters connected and inspired. And if you're looking to make impact today, I have this great resource. I've mentioned it already, but 5 quick wins to boost your fundraising today. Go grab it in the show notes or linked below. It's full of practical tips to help you get started immediately and to make the most of your year-end campaign. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I know this is probably top of mind for you, but if it's not, it's a great place to start fundraising. And it's the time of year where a lot of people are naturally thinking about it. So keep me posted. I want to hear what you do. I want to hear the success stories, and I want to hear what you've learned also in your time raising support during year end. Please stay tuned. Next week, we'll have another great episode. I am so excited we'll have a special guest. Stay tuned to figure out who that is, and I'll see you next week on Mission Money Fundraising.